It's so obviously bogus that even the artists themselves started parodying it. The Electric Light Orchestra, who performed the song we just listened to, later released a song that had this little interlude. Ooh, that sounded spooky, didn't it? Now let's play that backwards.
The music is reversible, but time is not. Turn back, turn back, turn back.
See, that's what a proper backwards message sounds like. Others got in on the act. Here's one from Weird Al Yankovic. What a revelation! And one from Oingo Boingo.
And you will be saved. You will receive everlasting life. Listen to me. I sinned, I know.
Gee, I wonder how many people were converted to Christianity by listening to that song. I'm guessing around, none? Duh! The stupidest thing is, a lot of evangelicals took these parodies, especially the ELO song, as proof that they were right all along. The truth is, all you need is the suggestion, and as long as it sounds close enough to what's being suggested, you'll make the match in your mind. And it's hardly limited to the religious. Believers of the paranormal fall for this kind of stuff all the time.
It's based on electronic voice phenomenon, or EVP. Fox 4's Rob Lowe has looked into EVPs.
Armed with a basic tape recorder, Greg and his friend Melissa have recorded 500 voices in the past 2 years. Voices they believe come from the afterlife.
Oh no you don't. We've learned our lesson. We're going to cover up what you think is being said. Did you get it? Now let's look at it with the words.
We had no idea who Caleb was or why he wasn't with her.
Brammer uses computer software to isolate the voices and block out any white noise in the background.
What was that again? Nope, I'm not getting it. What's it supposed to say? See, it's just pareidolia. They want to hear something and they find something that sounds just like it, just like with the backmasking. Only sometimes there's another effect that works its way in, resulting in very clear voices.
Felt like maybe this was a young man that was proud of his military service.
Well, the voice was very clear and unmistakable. But did it never occur to this guy that there might be another explanation? You know, military guys do use wireless communication devices all the time, and most recorders have an RLC circuit, which picks up signals such as on a tape recorder that has a radio as well. Even when you're not recording from the radio, the signals can still get picked up and recorded. Military radios, CDs, even baby monitors. There are a lot of baby monitors out there, and these so-called investigators do pick up a lot of babies they say are the ghosts of dead children. Occam's razor says otherwise. By the way, in this entire news report, there was no attempt to get the opinion of a skeptic, a professional radio engineer, or any kind of audio expert. No other possibility was mentioned, and there was no attempt to verify it at all. Really, it's just wishful thinking. Picking up a stray radio signal can bias your mind to finding voices elsewhere. Being convinced that rock music is satanic is enough to bias your mind to hear messages when they're played backwards. Once the mind is biased, it can be very hard to counter the effect, even if you realize what's going on. To see what I'm talking about, listen to this hymn, and be sure to look at the words being suggested. It's not even going to be played backwards. Well, I know church will never be the same for me again. So why do so many people fall for this? You might think it's the lack of skepticism inherent in every religious belief, but they also make it an emotional issue. Parents love their children and want what's best for them, so they're horrified at the thought of others trying to harm them. That makes them extremely vulnerable to Bogosity. And it's not just backmasking. How many bad laws have been passed under the slogan, "Protect the Children"? They don't even have to prove it. They just say it. And it's not just conservatives, not just liberals, it's everybody. Everyone is vulnerable to this. That's why it's so effective. Fortunately, most people seem to realize it's just for fun. For example, the Google Earth community exchanges the locations of interesting features they've seen, and a lot of them exchange locations of faces and other forms of pareidolia that they see in the patterns, both natural and artificial. Here's what appears to be a face of a Native American, carved here by nature in the mountains of Alberta. While over in the UK, we have a river that takes on an interesting profile. Here, the island of Majorca is trying to put on a brave, happy face, but we can tell it's quite sad. Aw, don't cry. You're the largest of the Balearic Islands and home to the majestic Belver Castle. This strange feature on an island in Ecuador is obviously carved by aliens to show us what they look like. Either that or they're Michael Jackson fans. And this odd face can be found in Egypt, near the Great Sphinx. I can't tell if it's Terence or Philip. See? Pareidolia is fun, and it permeates our history. The man in the moon, every constellation in the sky, these are all the results of ancient pareidolia passed down over millennia. Finding shapes in clouds or faces in the noise can lead to a wonderful, joyous feeling of discovery, as long as you don't lose your head and think that what you found is actually there. UFOs, Elvis sightings, Bigfoot, religious apparitions, lots of Bogosity can be tracked down to people mistaking pareidolia for the real thing. But remember what is the basis for all skepticism, the reason for caution and critical thinking, the reason why so many people, even intelligent people, get led astray. Because nothing is ever precisely what it seems. Hey, did you notice there were 3 subliminal messages placed in this very episode? Were you affected by them? Let's find out. So, when you got settled in and got comfortable, did it feel like you had to get up right away for some reason? It could be because you saw this subliminal message telling you that you have to go pee. Or maybe you got distracted during the Beatles segment, thinking there was something you had to do. Could it have been because of this backwards message? Or maybe, towards the end, you got anxious for it to be over because... So how many of those affected you? Well, if enough people view this video, the chances are that someone will have something that coincides with 1 or 2 of these, or maybe even all 3. But it would just be a coincidence. Most people won't have had anything happen to them at all. So stop being distracted by all of this Bogosity and start focusing on things that really matter.